Maya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste everyone. Welcome to this last session on Isha Upanishad. We have been discussing self-knowledge. We have been discussing the nature of the Atman and also very many ideas in addition to that, which you find in the Isha Upanishad. Today's session also has a lot of ideas, especially the nature of death, worlds of sojourn, what is the path available to those who have done good works, otherwise what is the fate. All of this has been described in some measure, and at the same time we will be discussing the nature of the ultimate consciousness, Brahman. So let us start with the next mantra. It is mantra number 15, Hiranmayena Patrena. Please go to that mantra. Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasyapi Hitam Mukham Tat Tvam Pushanna Pavrunu Satyadharmaya Drishtaye. Hiranmayena Patrena. Hiranmaya Patra is a golden lid or plate. Satyasya Mukham Apihitam. With this golden lid is covered the very face or mouth, as it were, of what? Of truth. Satyasya. Of the ultimate truth, the entrance is hidden with a golden orb or plate. So, Pushan, O sun, Tat, that, Satya Dharmaya, to me who am devoted to the truth. Drishtaye Tvam Apavrunu. In order to bring the truth into view, do thou remove this golden lid. Now you see, like a lid, thy shining golden orb covers the entrance to truth. Remove it, O sun, so that I who am devoted to the truth may behold that. This is a prayer. Now this is a very significant prayer. It is a prayer which the Rishi is making, which has deep implications, deep significance. What exactly does he mean here by a golden plate and covering the orb of the sun? Why the sun here? Because you know, the very purpose of the Upanishadic search is for Brahman, the ultimate truth of the universe, which is consciousness. How is this connected to the sun here? So the sun in the Vedic age was the most important symbol for Brahman, because in nature, you see, the rishis lived in nature, and when you step out of your homes, your apartments, the first thing you will see is light. Who is the source of that light? It's the sun. So the sun was considered the most important symbol of Brahman, because it is a vast, it's a star actually, which lights up this entire universe, just like how awareness or consciousness lights up your entire perception. So also the sun lights up this universe, so the sun was considered the symbol of Brahman. So now the Rishi is praying, O sun, please remove the lid that covers the truth about you. You know, it is a prayer to remove the ignorance within us, to remove the blockage of our buddhi, so that we may intuit the truth, so that we may intuit the truth of Brahman, which is ever present within us. What is this blockage of buddhi? The kind of perverted, distorted intelligence that doesn't allow the mind to remain inward bent. That is the lid, you can say, which has covered up, that is why it has covered the flash, the radiance of the sun. So please remove that. That is the prayer. So this prayer applies to all of us, isn't it? Let our buddhi be so crystal clear, so pure, and so turned inward, so that we may intuit the truth of our own being. That is the prayer being made. And I, who am so devoted to the truth, appeal to you, O sun. This is how he is praying. So check and see, do we have that intense desire to know the truth of pure existence? That is the essential point. Because you see, as the mantra goes, I who am so devoted to this truth, long for it. So please remove this lid, O sun. That is the prayer. So the energy of spiritual life, it actually comes, the self-motivation comes from your deep vyakulata, intense desire to know the truth. If you don't want to know the truth, nobody can make you know it. Nothing can make you know it, because your own system will not turn inward. If you want to know the truth, you will know it by yourself. Of course, divine grace is always there. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the wind of divine grace is always blowing. You have to unfurl your sail, he would say. So that is this illumined buddhi, which understands things as they are, which is inward turned and luminous by the light of awareness shining behind it. So this, the tendency of the buddhi to get corrupted and outward turned has to be removed. This lid upon awareness has to be removed for us to know the truth as it is, the ever-present nature of your soul, your being, Brahman, shining within you. In fact, it is only through awareness that the entire system is functioning. But we fail to acknowledge this because the mind is busy with something, the senses are preoccupied with sense objects, and of course the buddhi is deluded. This is the reason why this knowledge, this level of knowledge appears somewhat hazy or even unreal to many people. That's why we are not after it. If only these things, these mediating factors are cleared up, purified, you will understand you are seeking for nothing but Brahman. In all that you are seeking, you are actually seeking the ultimate consciousness, which is the source of all your happiness. So every time you search for something, you desire something, please know it, that its ultimate end is Brahman. That is the cause even for the desire within you. So through these mantras, they are leading us to the very source of our being. Look at the next mantra, even more interesting. Pushanne karshe Yamasuriya Prajapatya Vyuha Rashmin Samoha Tejo Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami Yosavasau Purushaha Sohamasmi. The Rishi says, O Pushan, O supporter of the universe, O sun, Ekarshe Yama Prajapatya, though the lonely courser of the skies, though the controller, Yama is to control. Prajapatya, O son of Prajapati, Surya, O sun, Rashmin Teja Samuha, please withdraw the rays of your light. The entire rays which emanate from you, please withdraw them a bit so that Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami, so that your ever auspicious true form I may behold. Yo savasau purusha sohamasmi, because that which is you in your real essence is verily me. See, this is the real Upanishadic spirit. So the Rishi is saying, O sun, please remove this flashing external light so that I may know your true form. You see, it's a direct prayer for self-knowledge. May I know the truth of the reality of things and not just the external luster. This is the meaning. That is why he is saying, dim this external light so that I may behold you as you are. May I know reality as it is, not merely as it is reflected in the mind. Sometimes, we confuse mental awareness with pure consciousness. For one who has not touched that pure consciousness, this confusion can occur. That's why, it is said, you need a foothold outside the universe to know everything about the universe, isn't it? So also you need a foothold outside the mind to know everything about the mind. how the mind functions. If you are involved with the mentations, with the modifications of your mind, with the invested awareness there, and if you confuse it for the self, you miss the goal. So that is why dim this awareness a bit, this light a bit, so that I may see, behold your true form. That is the prayer. It's a very intense prayer, please see. So that I may behold your most auspicious form. And yosavasau purusha sohamasmi, because the being that is in you, the supreme Brahman that you are, that verily is me. That verily is in me, that is my real nature. See, name and form are different. The essence of things is not different. So this is the point he is making. The sun is a huge star. You are a clod of earth, you can say. Because the body is made up of the Panchabhutas, which includes earth. But the reality of both is consciousness. The characteristic examples of the Upanishads we can take here. You can, out of a block of clay, you can make an elephant. You can also make a small mouse. But the truth about both is clay. Isn't it? Clay in a particular name and form is what you are calling mouse and elephant. So also, the very being who shines in everything is the being who is within you. As awareness within you, he lights up your universe. And in order to realize that, you draw symbols from that universe to go back into your own consciousness. See what a marvelous play of things it is. This is how God has made it. He has created this universe so that we get reintroduced to our own self by scrutinizing, by understanding the true nature of things. The very purpose of this manifestation, many of you ask this question, what is the purpose of this manifested world? If Brahman is the ultimate truth, then why this manifested world? The only purpose of this manifested world is to take you into the core of existence. And all of us will come to this through our own experiences in life. So this is how all these are prayers for the ultimate knowledge of pure being, and through symbolic forms like the sun here. Then look at the next mantra. Vayuranilam amrithamathedam bhasmantam shariram om kratosmara kritam smara kratosmara kritam smara. So now here this is a prayer for which a rishi is making at the time of death. At the time when the rishi leaves his body, he is asking for the ultimate. Look at the nature of, let's go word by word. Atha vayu amritam anilam. Now vayu here is breath. It is actually pran vayu. Breath is a manifestation of pran vayu. Amritam, the eternal, anilam, the all-pervading air. Idam, this shariram, bhasmantam, is being reduced to ashes. Om krato smara, kritagam smara. Oh, then my mind, remember your deeds, remember all your past deeds. See, this is the prayer. Now let my breath merge in the all-pervading immortal pran and the body be reduced to ashes. Om, Om, mind, remember your past deeds, remember all your past deeds. See, at the point of death, a person who has done good works, who has spent his life in devotion to the ultimate, who has developed the sanskars required for the higher life, this will naturally be his prayer, isn't it? When the breath merges in the pran vayu, what does this mean? See, here it is required to get a solid understanding of what death means. Many of you have these questions. A number of people have put these questions to me also. So here I would like to dwell on the Hindu view of death and the afterlife for us to understand this passage perfectly. To understand what the Rishi is trying to say. He's saying the breath merges in the pranvayu, and hence let me go to the ultimate. O mind, remember your deeds, remember your past deeds. So you see, death is nothing but the escape of the prana from your system, which means it separates the Annamaya Kosh from the rest of you. You have already studied the Panchakosha model of the human personality, isn't it? This is how they would view the human system in the Vedic age. There is the Annamaya Kosh, the body, the Pranmaya Kosh, the vital airs, which includes the prana, which includes the breath. Then there is the mind, which is the Manomaya Kosh. Then there is the higher intelligence and will, which is the Vijnanmaya Kosh. And there is the causal body, which is the Anandmaya Kosh. This is your entire system. From within, the Atman illumines this system. Now, death is nothing but the snapping of the Pranmaya Kosh. By its snapping, what happens? It separates the Annamaya Kosh from the rest of you. So the body falls. What happens to that pran? The pran escapes the body, but the rest of you continue. You are, in that sense, the body is only the external crust of your personality. Please see this. Your mind, your sanskars, the bundle of your karmas, everything goes along with you. Your will, your intention, the thoughts you have thought, which have solidified into sanskars, all of this goes with you. And then it takes up another body as per its karma and its sanskars. So death is nothing but the separation of the body from the rest of you. You continue. Actually speaking, death is for the onlooker, not for the dying person, because the dying person knows very well he is going further on. He is just leaving the body behind. But for the onlooker of this process, it appears like death is the end of the person. Existence ever continues. Body falls, that is all. But since we are identified with the body supremely, we consider that to be the end of our existence. It's a fallacy. That's why while living, you must be able to make this disconnect. You must be able to understand the nature of the human personality structure. My own nature, my own being, I am trying to understand. Then you will understand correctly the process of death. So then, what happens to this Sukshma Sharir and Karan Sharir, the subtle body and the causal body, the mind and whatever constitutes the rest of you, what happens to that after death? So it's in a sense travels. Actually speaking, from the standpoint of Advait Vedant, you are not traveling anywhere because everything happens in awareness. But as long as you are identified with body and mind, the epistemic limits of time, space and causation apply to you. And that is why you appear to travel. So the Sukshma Sharir will go into worlds of sojourn, lokas what are called. In Hindu philosophy, you will find it like that. So if the merit and the demerit of the person who has died are equal, he will go to the Pitralok. It is called the world of mains. Through the Pitrayan, there is a path to it. And once his good deeds there, the fruit of his karma, the fruit of his good works, karma phal it's called, it's exhausted, he comes back to this very earth. You see, this earth is called Bhu. The Pitralok is called Bhuva. And Swa is Swarga or heaven. That is not considered the ultimate end of human life, but that is also a loka to which one with great merit can go. So suppose the merit is greater than the demerit, the karma, positive karmas are higher than the negative karmas, then one goes to Swarga and after exhaustion of that merit comes back into this very earth, this very Bhu. So this process, it is well described even in the Bhagavad Gita, Kshine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti. A person comes back into this world once he exhausts his karmas in the different worlds, the fruit of his karma. So all of them, please see this, whether it's heaven or hell or Pitralok, they are all bhoga bhumis. Only earth, your life here as a human being, this is the karma bhumi. Here you can generate karma phal. See, this is a very important point. Here alone you can generate good works, the effects of which you will experience in the other worlds. But here you can generate positive karma. Those whose karmas are more negative than positive, the demerit is higher than the merit, they go into hells. There are a number of hells described. So these are called narak, and at different levels they undergo suffering so that they realize the importance of doing good. So they also, after the exhaustion of the negative karma, come back to bhu. This is the understanding. So bhu, bhuva, swaha are these lokas. But what about those who are sadhaks, who have understood the nature of desire and have overcome desire right here? They obviously will not want to go into heaven, isn't it? Because heaven is like, Swarga is like a, you can say 9-star or 10-star hotel, where magnified or exaggerated experiences of the senses are there. Only thing is there is no pre-booking there. If you earn enough merit, you are supposed to go there. But if you have overcome desire right here on bhu, on the earth, then you won't even want to go to Swarga, isn't it? Then where do you go? You go into higher lokas like Satyalok, Tapalok. All these are described in the scriptures, but ultimately you will be going into Hiranyagarbha, or that realm which is the realm of Sagun Brahman. Through your upasana, through your sadhana, you have opened the realm to the personal God. This Hiranyagarbha, or the realm of Sagun Brahman, includes many extensions, you can say, like Vaikuntha, Kailash. So the devotees of Vishnu go to Vaikuntha, the devotees of Shiva go to Kailash. There is a Ramakrishna Lok, devotees of Thakur go there. Then there is Golok. Then there is all these things are described in the scriptures. So according to your devotion to your personal God, the Supreme Godhead, you go to that particular loka, that particular realm. It is as per your devotion and your karma and your sanskars. If here on bhu, sadhana has really attained its fulfillment, you go into the realm of the personal God. And beyond this is the Nirgun Brahman, where Jnanis and Yogis, they prefer to go there because the nature of their sadhana is Nirgun Upasana. So whatever it is, the point is, everything is based on the kinds of sanskars you produce throughout your life and the karmas you perform. Advait Vedant will finally tell you, what do you mean by coming and going? See, when you are identified with body and mind, there is a traveling, there is a coming and going. But in awareness, for awareness, is there coming and going? No, it's always there. In fact, everything is happening in awareness. So one who is identified with pure awareness, there is no traveling for that person. There is no coming and going. So then this krama mukti, going to the higher lokas and spheres and worlds of sojourn, all this is not actually described in the highest Vedant. They talk of Jivan Mukti. Right here, in this very life, you remove ignorance, get the highest knowledge, you merge into Brahman. Right here, whatever you have to do, it's right here that you will do, not in a post-mortem state. But this Krama Mukti Marga, this gradual liberation, this is also described in the scriptures, and this is through worlds of sojourn. If in this very birth you are not able to attain the knowledge of Brahman, as according to your karma and your sanskars, you will go into higher lokas. If you have that much merit, if you have that much sadhan bal, you will go into higher lokas. So that has been described here. So please understand these things correctly, because there's a lot of confusion about this, and people, because you like travel, people make a lot about this traveling also, that well, the soul goes here and the soul goes there. The simple, I can tell you, the summary is this: your future will be according to your karma and the sanskars you generate in your mind. You know, even the kind of family a jiva chooses to be born into, to a great extent it depends on the vibrational energy of the jiva, which is again his sanskars and his karma. So take care of these two, that's the whole point. In terms of sadhana, you must be very particular about karma, because karma generates karma phal. That decides your future. And sanskars, what kind of impressions have finally become yours. That is essentially your character. Vivekananda says this, isn't it? Character is nothing but the bundle of your sanskars. So what kind of sanskars you generate in life and maintain and uphold and live by, that is going to determine, that and your karma will determine your future. Don't dwell so much on where you will be going. Try to understand how your mind functions now, and you will understand your future. So the essential thing is to dive deep into oneself, and you will understand all of these things very correctly. So this is the message being given here, that this is how the mind is, that's why the Rishi is saying, oh mind, remember your past deeds, remember your deeds. See, this is also a prayer at the point of death, a devotee or a Rishi mind will naturally pray to the highest, will naturally think of God. This, ensures a very good next birth, wherever, in whichever loka. Because it's something like, when you sleep, when you go to sleep at night, the last thoughts which you have, they affect your sleep, and even when you wake up, something of that, the tingling of that will be there. That thought will be there. So the point is, because it's in your mind, the whole process is taking place in your mind. So also, at the moment of death, what you think of, and it's not easy to think of God, remember, unless it has been practiced all through life. The moment of death, what you think of, to a great extent determines your next life. So this idea is there even in the Bhagavad Gita. Very nice shlokas you have on this. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajantyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Exactly what thought a person thinks of and leaves his body, he gets bhavit by that, and according to that is his future birth. That is why then in the next shloka, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha. That's why at all times think of me, think of God. In whatever way you are worshipping God, prioritize that in your life. And at the moment of death also, only that will come in. Mayarpita mano buddhi mame vaishyasya samshayaha. If you have given your man and buddhi to me, Lord Krishna says, there is no doubt you will come to me. Now check and see where our man and buddhi lies. According to that will be your future. You actually, the Sukshma Sharir carries this baggage with it when it goes. So take care of these few things. That is the purpose of studying this. Whatever worlds of sojourn or whatever we are studying, the whole purpose is to understand you are responsible for your future. You alone are the creator of your destiny. Depending on your karma phal, depending upon the kinds of sanskars you generate here, depending on the conditioning your mind undergoes through those sanskars, according to that is going to be your future. So learn to take your life into your hands. That's why the great need for yoga and Vedant, so that we become conscious human beings, conscientious individuals who are responsible to ourselves. First thing is, you are responsible to your own self at every step. And according to what you did with your life, your future is generated. This is a law, please remember. There is no magic happening here. This is a law. What you cultivated, what you sowed, that you will reap. So take charge and take care of your life. This is the most important thing to know about this mantra. Then we are going to go into the next one. Agne naya supatharaye asman vishwani deva vayunani vidwan yuyodhyas majjuhuranameno bhuishtam te nama uktim vidhema. O Agni, lead us. So you see, let us go word by word. Agne Naya Supatha Raye. So here Agni is the fire god which was used for sacrifices. Agni is also called Vahni, one who takes the oblations to the deities. And Asman, us, Raye, the enjoyment of the fruits of our karma. Supatha, by the fair path, please take us by that fair path which leads us to the enjoyment of the fruits of our good karma. Deva, O Lord Agni, please do this for us. Vishwani Vayunani Vidwan. All the deeds, you are the one who knows. Asmat, from us. Juhuranam means deceitful. Ena Yuyodhi. All the deceitful or wrong tendencies in us, the sinful tendencies in us, please destroy. Bhuishtam te nama uktim vidhema. So by this by these words I am offering my salutations, please accept this. Because you see, at the point of death, one is not capable of performing action, isn't it? So he is saying, by words, I am requesting you this, O Agni, lead us by the fair path that we may reap the good of that which we have sown. You knowest all our deeds, O Lord, destroy all the crooked, deceitful sins which we have performed, which are in us. So it is the prayer for purification and ultimate deliverance. So please remember, again you see the emphasis here, we will reap the fruits of what we have sown, and that is why it is important to perform good action and seek to be liberated from sinful actions. See, this is a great psychology which you should understand. Nobody wants to commit sin. Everybody has goodwill within themselves. But what makes a man commit sin? The answer is beautifully given in the Bhagavad Gita. Kama esha krodha esha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhenam iha vairinam. This calm, krodh, lust, anger, and the shadripus, all of the 6 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Mada, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya, these make us commit sin. They push you towards sinful actions, sinful thoughts. So, know them to be the gateways to hell, the shloka says. They are born of Rajas, and know them to lead you to hell. They will give you a hell of an experience right here, and they mess up your future plans. Wherever you want to go, if you don't have the right karmic backpack, you cannot go anywhere. So that is why take charge, why I keep insisting it is important to become a fully conscious individual first through the practice of yoga sadhana. Then only you become a conscious, responsible individual. Then you will take charge of your karma by yourself. If you are unconsciously going through life, you cannot be called responsible for, not even to yourself, not to speak of towards others. You may create a family, you may take charge of huge projects in the outer world, but you cannot be held morally responsible. You are not morally responsible. You cannot be unless you are a deeply conscious individual. You will keep on making mistakes and blunders throughout life. So the essential thing is, today, we don't understand the importance of self-knowledge for self-management. This is the whole problem. This much we have understood, that self-management is required for managing others. This much has been understood, but the importance of self-knowledge for self-management has not been understood as yet. For the simple reason, you don't see the connection between how to be conscious, the deep link between your sanskars and awareness, the mind and awareness. This has not yet penetrated into common understanding. This is so very important. Why the emphasis in the Vedic age on an education of this kind was only for this reason, that from deep within yourself you are moral, ethical, conscious, responsible individuals. Then only you will become the conscience of the nation, the conscience of the globe. All the problems which we suffer today, please see this, most of them have been made by irresponsible individuals, because they are only half conscious, partially conscious, which means you are in a half dazed, dreamy state. Naturally you will trip. So take care of this. How to generate this level of deep inner awareness, that is the whole point in Vedanta, and that is why he is telling us this. Take charge of your personality first, to its very depths. Then you will naturally become conscientious. You will become responsible at every step. And naturally your karma will be good, so your future will be bright. This is the whole message you should remember. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, you will find this Uddhared Atmana Atmanam, Na Atmanam Avasadayet, Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha, which means you must raise yourself by yourself and not demean yourself by yourself, because you are your best friend or you are your worst enemy. How you took care of your mind, your actions, your intentions, your motives, your karmas, what did you do for others, and your sanskars, what is it that you cherished, what level of life did you manifest, and how much did you do for others. This is all that is going to finally matter, and nothing else. Not your bank account, not the number of cars you have, not the number of homes and properties you made, the family you have, everything will be left behind. But this much will go with you, the gamut of your karma and your sanskars. So take care of this. This is the whole point, and that is why he says at the end that we salute thee with these words again and again. O Lord, I am taking refuge in you. See that my ongoing sojourn is good. Lead me towards the path of light. This is the prayer of the dying person, the dying rishi here. And then it of course concludes with Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevava Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is, when we conclude the Upanishad like this, that means this is the last session. Again the same peace chant with which we started is repeated. So you know the meaning of this chant, we have already discussed. Everything is the infinite, everything is Brahman. And even if you remove something from it, it appears apart from it, ultimately it is only that. The Brahman remains over. You remove something from infinity, infinity remains over, they are telling us. So this is something tremendous. At the end again they are telling us this. You see, this world is nothing but the manifestation of Brahman, nothing apart from Brahman. Learn to see things the way they are. You have given extra reality importance to the concocted version of your mind, the Jiva Srishti. And so the Ishwar Srishti you are not saying, but the reality is only Brahman. Isha vasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. The truth of life is the existence of Brahman, the existence of pure being. So see this again. With this, the Upanishad ends. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let there be peace everywhere, in all ways. Let everything be soaked in peace. So I would like to conclude this Upanishad here and take up the questions. Again, a whole lot of questions have come to me, because I received a lot of feedback that the question answer session is very interesting, and I'm glad it's helping a whole lot of people. I would only like to mention before I begin the questions that from the next week onwards we will be taking up Kenopanishad. If you have already bought the book 8 Upanishads, you already have the Upanishad with you. That's the most powerful Upanishad, Kenopanishad. and we will be going in depth into that. Isha Upanishad was a small one, so we could finish it in 4 classes, but Kena Upanishad will be a longer one, and will go up to 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 classes. So we will begin that from the next week. For now, I will take up the questions. How can we apply the values for inculcating leadership qualities at our workplaces? See, leadership is not about being a boss. It is not about being on top. It is about manifesting a level of energy which makes other people conform with you, other people understand you, accept you naturally. So for that to happen, that's why, a leader, they say, is born, he is not made, which means he must have this genuine sanskars of leadership. He must be able to inspire a level of energy in others which makes them naturally follow him. The leader is expected to have a great vision. He is not a mere manager. He is the one who leads, who directs. So if he himself is not highly inspired with a great vision, how can he be the leader? How do we bring this in our workplaces? First of all, you must make yourself like that. It is no use trying to inspire others, I am telling you. If you become like that, you will naturally inspire others. So first, how to myself grow and become a complete human being. Vivekananda, his entire emphasis was on human development. Have you seen this? If you have read any of his lectures or the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, you will see there the entire emphasis is on humanism, human development, how to arouse the divine potential within you. His very definition of education was like that, that it is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. So how to bring out that perfection within you, then only you become a leader. For that, training of this body-mind complex is inevitable, which means sadhana is inevitable. So leadership, climbing the ladder of leadership does not mean jumping to higher posts, getting raises, or becoming a boss. It means changing your character, making it such, making your thought process so luminous, making your personal life so ideal that it inspires others to follow you. So how do you bring it into your workplace? You must become such a person first. Then you will inspire this in your workplace. That is why I always say, whether you like it or not, whether your mind agrees with it or not, some level of everyday self-development, some form of self-development practice on an everyday basis has to be practiced. Your educational system is not giving you this, not pointing towards this. They will acquaint you with the outer world. So that's why I don't touch upon that at all, because you already have more than enough information on that, and information is today at your fingertips. But what about yourself? How do I develop myself? What does human development actually mean? And what is human evolution actually about? Where does it culminate? What is the goal of human life? This you must explore and discover for yourself. That is why some time every day for self-development, for enriching yourself through yoga, through clear thinking, through inspiring literature. This is very important for leadership qualities to manifest. If today you even condition your child towards this, tomorrow by the time he finishes his teenage years, you will see leadership qualities in him, because he has reached a level of clarity which gives him a totally different vision, a different perception. So he will be a natural leader. So you see, leadership is not practiced. Only self-development is practiced, and as a result, the result is leadership. If self-development is not practiced and you practice all kinds of leadership skills, you will end up nowhere. how do I make my personality look good and how do I talk well, all this does not constitute leadership. Leadership is what you have become as a result of what you have known and believed in your personal life. So bring this into your life and leadership will naturally flower there. What are addictions and how do we become its prey? So you can read the book Science of Happiness, which is available on Amazon. There I have outlined this entire thing. What are addictions, what are their causes, how does one become a prey to it, and what are the solutions. And neurophysiologically it has been traced, and Yoga Vedanta solutions have been applied. I think for those of you who are attending this class, you must go to Amazon and buy that book. It's a book you should keep with you because it is giving you a whole lot of knowledge on the science of happiness according to Yoga Vedanta. So please try to get the book. Addiction, how does one become prey to addictions? Is you become a prey to addictions when the mind is weakened by passions. I told you this Shadripus. They can simply mesmerize your mind and put down your energies in such a way that you don't realize you have become a prey to something. This in the Bhagavad Gita, in many verses this has been described. In fact, in one verse says that this Kam, Krodh and Lobh, they are actually the paths to hell. They will give you a hell of an experience, but you don't understand it. So taking charge of these things, they are actually to be classified under negativities of mind, because the final effect they produce is very negative. They will make the mind restless, they will make the mind addictive, and they will put down your vital energies. So finally, you are a low energy, wrongly conditioned individual, and you will give in to any form of addiction. So it all starts with a unstable thought process, which has given in to the Shadripus, the 6 enemies. Now, how do you change this? You start by committing yourself to a sattvic way of life, by committing your thoughts to some high elevating ideal in life. That is why I always gave you this standard, isn't it? And suppose somebody has already developed an addiction, how do you come out of it? You know, that is the painful process. You can lose a decade of your life in trying to come out of certain kinds of addictions. So it's a sheer waste of human life and energy. But at the point of addiction, you don't understand this. Whenever we give in to our passions and our anger, you don't know how you are creating the wrong sanskars, conditioning them into your system, and that gets manifested, expressed in your character and behavior. So this is how one becomes prey. The only way to stay safe is to commit yourself to the good life. Even if it may be a little difficult, you have to go a little out of your way to get good company, good books. Do it. Especially youth is the time you should do it. Step by step you have to build your life. But once you give in to these things, and over a period of time if you give in to these things, it will become part of you. Addictions become part of your life then. So that's a very sorry state of affairs. You see, youth is the time when you should be sparkling with intelligence and energy. If at that time you have given in to these things, you will you will be the loser and lose many years of your life. So I see this happening in the places where I teach also. So all of us are concerned about this. Commit yourself to the good life. The third question is how to control a wandering mind. You know, the nature of the mind is to keep jumping from one thing to the other. And if it is wrongly conditioned, then it becomes like, as Vivekananda put it, you know, it is like a monkey which is drunk and stung by a scorpion and crazy. So all of these put together, the mind can run amok like that. It can be disastrous. So how do you control it? See, you must fix your will. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to concentrate upon. If the mind diverts and goes out from there, you pull it back. Again it diverts and goes after a few seconds, you pull it back. Again it goes, again you pull it back. If you have fixed your will, again this level of willpower comes with awakened awareness. Then you just fix your will. Because ultimately what you are calling your will or intention, it matters a lot in the attention you give to things. Attention itself is a beam of your awareness. They are all connected, please see this. So once you fix your will, your attention will remain riveted on where you want to go. The mind will remain under control. So senses also will remain under control. If the will is not fixed, the mind has free rein, the senses have even freer rein, and the attention will just flicker and wander. So that is how you have to learn to control from within. Step by step, it's a step by, every day you do this, what is called anusankalp. Small sankalps, small ways of fixing will. Today I will concentrate on my studies for 4 hours or 6 hours. Today I will avoid distractions completely. Tomorrow I will get up at 4 o'clock. These are anusankalps. Everyday basis, if you fix your will on certain things like this, over a period of time they become habits. It becomes natural. Your mind has accepted these things. So your conditioning process changes gradually. But without these anusankalpas, these small fixed willed techniques, it is difficult to control the mind. That is why people of great self-control are usually people of powerful will. Vivekananda used to say this, that they are the great gigantic, they become the great gigantic world movers because the will has developed like that. Through anusankalpas, it becomes a gigantic sankalpa. You develop great willpower. So try this and see to control a wandering mind. What is the difference between being mindful and being aware of? Very good question. See, being mindful means being in full attention of something. When you say being, actually your question should stop at being aware, not being aware of. Because when you are aware of something also, mindfulness comes in there. But what you are actually asking for is being aware. You can be just aware or you can be aware of something. Mindfulness means being aware of something, being mindful of something. But just awareness, it does not require an object. You can be just aware. When you get up first thing in the morning, you're just aware. This can be deepened through practice, yogic practice. So this being aware can be deepened into being more and more conscious. Finally, you come to pure awareness. But you can do it by being mindful of particular objects so that your awareness is limited to that particular object. You are not distracted. So you use mindfulness to generate greater awareness and not vice versa. Please see this. Let me give you an example to help you understand this better. I repeat, it's a subtle point, so let me repeat. You use mindfulness to become more deeply aware. How? You think of awareness as the vast sky. In the sky there are clouds here and there, so those are your thoughts. When you are mindful of your thoughts, each thought is like a cloud, you can say. When you are mindful of your thoughts, you are not completely aware as yet. Please see, you have not touched the sky. You are just the thoughts are the clouds. So when you become more mindful, which means the cloud, you have penetrated into the cloud. When you penetrate into the cloud, you will go into the sky. You will touch the sky. So mindfulness practiced on any object, especially holy objects, will make you deeply aware. This is how we use mindfulness techniques. They are meditation techniques to take you into complete awareness. You will touch the sky if you penetrate into the cloud. So you are using mind to go into the state beyond mind. So this is the importance of mindfulness practice. In fact, most meditation techniques are mindfulness techniques. And finally, they culminate in pure awareness. The fifth question is, Bhagavad Gita mentions about physical strength, intellectual strength and spiritual strength. What is spiritual strength? Yes, it is called Bahubalam, and then you have Manobalam, and then you have Atmabalam. So what is spiritual strength? It is the strength born of the Atman, of your true nature. The manifestation of this strength lies in the perfect ability to control everything that is not the Atman, which includes your mind, your body, your senses, the people around you, the world around you. The more one has Atma Bal, because the final controller is within, you see, is Antaryamin, the Atman. So because if you have this knowledge, it generates, the knowledge of the self clarifies your mind so completely, it generates a different power altogether, through which you are able to control your own system as well as the happenings around you. This is Atma Balam, actually speaking. It starts with turning the mind inward and getting the knowledge of the self. Finally, the self controls everything around. So this Balam is very important to control mind, wandering mind and all this, and the senses, the system, the body itself. Finally awareness. It is through awareness that everything gets charged and controlled. And obviously if the system is well trained and controlled, if you are awake, alive to the depths of your being, you will control the situations and people around you very well. It's no issue. But if there's no inner awakening, then everything is an issue, isn't it? Because my own mind is reactive, my own mind is not behaving. Now, what can I control on the outside? So Atma Balam is very much required for any other form of strength. Please understand this. So this is the meaning of spiritual strength. Is a human guru indispensable for every sadhak? There were people like Raman Maharshi who did not have one. Oh, let me correct you. Once Raman Maharshi himself was asked that you did not have a guru, and he said, how do you know? I might have had one in some lifetime. Then he also, I think he said that the Avadhut, in Avadhut Gita you find the Avadhut learned from so many gurus in nature. So everybody has a guru, and it is important to have a human guru. You don't understand the influence of the guru in the life of the disciple. Those who have got it are really blessed. Those who haven't got it don't realize it. If you find the complete ideal in a human individual, and you have that same in yourself, immediately your whole being, your whole mind will understand that this is the most sacred relationship possible, and this is a relationship only next to God. So a human guru is the greatest blessing of the sadhak's life. Besides, not just in terms of inspiration, in terms of power, the guru's power goes into the disciple, and the realization comes about by that. So a human guru is indispensable for every sadhak. If you find somebody who has attained to Siddhi without a human guru, you can be sure that in the past he has had gurus, he has had a human guru, and this is the effect of that cause. So if you read the life of Vivekananda and you see the beautiful, very, very beautiful and inspiring relationship between Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, you will understand the place of the Guru in life. Sri Ramakrishna himself had gurus, isn't it? His Vedanta Guru was Totapuri. He learnt Tantra from Bhairavi Brahmani. For him, learning means experience. So the point is, a human guru is indispensable to spiritual progress. And please don't doubt this. For those who have had it, they know its importance. So this is as regards your questions. I would like to conclude with just mentioning this. Since we are going to begin a new Upanishad in the next class, the Kena Upanishad, I request you to keep a copy of the Kena Upanishad in your hands. If you haven't bought the 8 Upanishads, try to take a copy, a PDF from Google, and keep the Kena Upanishad also is not very big, so you must keep it in your hands so that it becomes easy for us to study as we have been doing this Isha Upanishad. So with this I would like to conclude today's class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, peace, peace, peace.